Cardinal fans, welcome back to Inside the Cardinal Playbook this week. And it is always fun after a victory to do this coaches show. And so we got back-to-back, by the way, conference wins, which we'll get to later. But we got Coach Kruse on here, and I know he's happy. And like I told you, I was going to throw you a real softball so all our fans will know. But what I was really impressed, and you and I kind of got coachy and preachy at halftime because I really felt like we could hang with that group. And I said, if you want it, you got to go get it in life. It doesn't make any difference what it is. But you're down 17-0. What adjustments? What did you see a difference in how the kids played? But you came roaring back and won the game 21-17.
I thought we played hard the whole game. In halftime, it's funny how coaches think alike. The message was very similar to what you said. And, hey, we put a lot into this, and you truly say you want to earn respect in a big way. Don't give up your opportunity. And really it was less probably about what the coaches said and more about how they challenged each other and how they, stepped up in a situation that in past games you would have said maybe was out of our control at that point. And defensively came up and pitched a shutout in the second half, and offensively stepped up and scored some big touchdowns, at different points throughout the half, and took the lead, I think, with maybe 12 minutes or so to go.
12 minutes, just right at
somewhere 12 minutes to go in the half, and then held on to it and did the things necessary to do that against a very good football team, a very good, well-coached football team. So extremely proud of them, and it was a lot of fun.
91 years since you guys have beat Truman State.
That's before both of our times, right?
That's even before my time. But you look at it, the three teams that came from the powerful MIAA football conference in Division II, you're 3-0 against them.
Yeah, it's a good place to be at this point. We've had 3 conference opportunities this year, and to be 3-0 in those opportunities is good. And we're 3-0 in the state of Missouri as well. As we look at the teams we played in conference, they just
That's
happen
important
to be
for recruiting.
They happen to be on the front end of the schedule here. All of the Missouri schools are our first 4 conference opponents, and so to be 3-0 in the conference right now, going into another in-state conference game this weekend, we're excited and looking forward to it.
Let's talk a little bit about your players of the week. It's a highlight for me when you can talk about them, particularly after a victory. Because you had a lot of guys that played really well.
It's always, like you said, it's always fun to talk about them. It was harder yesterday for us as coaches to sit around and try and figure out who they were.
Right.
There's so many guys that did so many good things and stepped up in key situations throughout the game. That was a complete team effort. As I told them after the game, as I was holding the game ball from the game, that the game ball goes to the team for the weekend because of the effort that was put in, not only on Saturday, but the effort leading up to it throughout the week in practice with the guys that are just involved in practice right now because they may be redshirting or whatever. But yeah, starting with those guys, a couple of young guys that are coming along really well. On the offensive side, playing center for us as a young guy who's redshirting this year, Jamison O'Connor out of the Wichita area, Andover area in Kansas, doing some really good things for us. And then defensively, a young man that's come in and throughout camp and the beginning of the season here, he's an instinctive young player at the linebacker position in Bryce Shepard, doing really, really good things for us. So those guys are guys you don't get to see on Saturdays right now, but you'll see and know their names as we move forward. And then, offensively, it was tough. We had several guys who played really well. Some guys at the receiver position that continue to be solid and do the things we ask them. Anthony Mullins comes back from injury on a hamstring and has a really good game. He had 5-6 catches for 130-some yards and did some good things there. And we had some guys up front do some good things, and running backs in a lot of different areas. But the guy we went with this week because of his continued play over the last several weeks is Nick West.
Getting better. Don't want to give any secrets, but I like the way he's stepping up in the pocket and finding the receiver. And of course, you can see that on any video.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not giving anything away there. His presence has continued to get better, and his execution and his ability to be unflappable in any situation that presents itself and not get too high or too low, and been really excited about his play and looking forward to his continued growth as well. So he was our offensive player this week. Defensively, we had I think 4 guys with double-digit tackles.
You had Flagel, Jackson,
Flagel played well. Jackson played well. Doss played well. Quinn and Reiser played.
Well.
I can go down the line, but those are the guys who are
they are
at
really
the top
all
of the
four
statistical
really
charts.
Well.
And we played as good a game probably as we have all year up front. So we could have went with a lot of those guys. The guy we went with this week, and who is also the conference defensive player of the week, is Eric Jackson. With I think 11 tackles, several for a loss.
Boy, Motors never stops running. That one sack he made there,
2 pass breakups.
That was sweet.
Playing linebacker, playing defensive. He is. I'm so excited for him in the things and the roles he stepped into this year because of injuries and other things that he's moved from different spot to different spot and had a lot on his plate on Saturday and did a tremendous job with it. And in his senior year to whatever it is, week 6 to be the conference player of the week. That's quite an accomplishment. So excited for him. Special teams this week, who I think he may have gone into the first place in the conference as a punter. Zane Kitchell continues to, do everything we ask him to do there.
Very consistent.
Proud of the things he's doing and the guys in front of him. Giving him the opportunity to do that, and then covering well in that scheme as well. And then we went with an overall player of the week again this week, just because there was a guy that continues to come up in conversation every single week, and not only on one side of the ball, but in just about every special team we can get him on in every situation. We talked similarly about Glenn Whitney last week, but Nate Igarwa, that guy's a beast right out there on the field right now. And, so we went with him as the overall player of the week for his efforts, not only on offense, but in every core special team as well.
He's a great blocker.
I mean, what do you want him to do? I mean, we joke in staff meetings right now about, when's he going to start playing defense too, because he's playing everything else. And I don't know if we'll ever get to that or not, but he sure deserves the honor.
Well, we'll be back. It kind of wraps up this first segment inside the Cardinal Playbook. And boy, isn't it fun when you win? I mean, it's a great deal. So we'll be right back with you in just a second. Cardinal fans, welcome to the second segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. It's my pleasure to have a guy that was a stallion Saturday in the big win against Truman State, Austin Doss. Austin's a defensive lineman. And Austin, you had to feel good about you and your mates had to feel good about how you handled the line of scrimmage, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, we played pretty well. We stopped the running game the whole day. That was our main objective when we got the game plan for the week. Also, my buddies next to me played pretty good. Connor Flagel had a great game. I think he ended up with about 6 tackles. Aaron Nyer, Rob Hurd, and Colin Heller also came out there and played very well Saturday too.
Yeah, they really did play well. They really had a pretty good 1-2 punch with Black and White both. But when Black got hurt, I thought it really kind of changed their game plan. You know what? They were gashing you a little bit. And Austin, you made a lot of tackles in that, but they were in that quarterback draw a lot in key situations. And then after a while, you guys just shut that completely down.
Yeah, once again, our game plan going into the week was that we needed to stop the run game. So we knew that they were probably going to start throwing screens and trying to get the ball out other ways. So we knew that our job was after we stop the run game, we need to get out of the stack and make a lot of tackles. And I know personally that's where a lot of my tackles came from, a little bit downfield, but that's how we were coached to play the game, and that's what we knew we needed to do that week.
We talk about different responsibilities and how you approach different things. When you go against a spread look where they really throw the ball, they may have 4 wides, 5 wides. In comparison, they spread it a little bit, but they still ran the football. They run the inside, outside zone reads and the basic stuff. As far as game plan is concerned for the front 4, does that really affect you that much, depending on formation and things of that nature?
Well, we knew going into the game plan that they were probably going to run a decent amount of zone and power, so we knew that if we got off the ball like we were coached to do and hit and lift all game and basically were just more violent and physical than the offensive line, that's what was going to cause us to make a lot of plays. And I feel like we did a very good job of shutting down the run game, especially the inside and outside zone. I know they might have gashed us a couple times, but other than that, we really just shut them down and they had no answer for that.
Well, you're looking at the conference stats this year, and I know you guys probably talk about that. Coach Williams and defensive staff probably talks about it, but you guys have been able to pressure the passer no matter who we've been playing all year. What do you think's the difference? I know you got a little quicker look on offense or on defense, and you guys up front are very athletic as well. How do you feel about that? We are definitely a pass rushing team.
Right. We're doing very well getting to the passer. All of our schemes and stuff are geared around being relentless and just being overbearing on the offensive line. We have a lot of good stunts that we have installed and just a lot of games and everything that we play to get to the quarterback each and every week. And I know Marcus Moyer has been having a very good season because he's very quick and he can execute a lot of good pass rush moves to get to the quarterback. Robert Hurd's also doing a very good job doing that, but it basically comes down to just our instinct and speed getting off the ball to beat the blockers to the quarterback.
Well, most of you guys have been playing ever since you either redshirt freshman or your freshman year, one or the other. You guys are really kind of coming together. You guys are all getting a little experience now, and I can really see a big difference in your play. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I completely feel that way. I mean, I know that for me personally, this is my second year playing with most of the guys on defense. I know my redshirt freshman year, after that we lost a couple guys, but this year especially we've definitely had a lot of camaraderie and brotherhood come together, and we're all like a close-knit group now. And that's definitely bleeding over to how we play every Saturday.
Now, we talk about the defense. Of course, you're worried about the up front. You've got to watch the screens, the draws, that type of thing, rush the passer, and then, of course, take care of your gap. But how do you feel about the linebackers and the defensive secondary? I think they've really come along. I know the linebackers, and we've had Jimmy on and Messer and a few of those guys, and they like being able to stun all the time. But you guys are the ones that really have to deal with the garbage, and they get all the glory. How do you feel about that? That's just life as a defensive lineman?
I mean, I just want to win the game. I don't really care how we get it done. Just got to play for my boys and make it happen.
Well, this week we got S&T. You want to talk about them? We got about a minute left, so you might want to say something just from your aspect as a defensive lineman looking at S&T. What's your expectations?
My expectation is basically get off the ball, hit and lift like what we've been instructed to do, and play more physical than them. After watching a little bit of film that I've watched, they're pretty similar to Truman. They run a lot of zone, and if we can shut down their run game again, I feel very confident about us coming out of the game with a victory again. I mean, we're going to have to play well like we have to do every week, but I think that if we play how we're coached to play, that the game will be won by us.
Well, Austin, again, good luck. I guess you already know you're 3-0 in the conference, and you were picked to be last. That's got to be a little something in your crawl that you're. And I like that as a motivating factor. I see a little smile on your face, so that's part of the deal. And we're right in the thick of it. If you've been following it, I might have followed it bet more than you have because you're getting prepared to play a game. But We're right there. We're right there. We have the opportunity. We just have to go get it, like I said the other day on the air. And you definitely went and got it last Saturday. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we just need to keep going out there playing with a big chip on our shoulder like we know how to play defense and dominate the way that we know how to play and we know how we can play every week. So if we keep doing that, great things are going to happen for the rest of the season.
Well, good luck to you guys, the defensive line, and keep that pressure on. Stop that run this Saturday, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll see you. Okay, that ends this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. We'll be back in segment 3 in just a second. Cardinal fans, welcome back to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, and this will be our third segment tonight after the big victory against Truman State this past weekend. And, it's my pleasure to have Brandon Klewer, our left tackle, who's going to talk with us a little bit, and particularly, Brandon, I want to talk about the second half. I really felt like we struggled moving the ball a little bit the first half, and then bingo, all of a sudden, you came together and really started moving the football and really dominating the game. What was the difference?
I believe the difference was at halftime we discussed as a unit, as an offense, that we were still in this game. We still need to come out, focus, and execute our game plan. I think it came down to the offensive line handling their defensive line, dominating up front. We were able to run the ball and pass the ball, do everything that we wanted to effectively in the game. We just gave our quarterback time. It goes up to the rest of the offensive line. Our left guard, Logan Winter, center, Jake Holloman, right guard, Jake Anthony, and right tackle, Andrew Bick. They did a phenomenal job protecting Nick, opening up holes for Thomas Cook, and the running back. Just playing as a unit out there. That's all that came down to.
Well, let's talk about that too. I like I was just telling you before we got on the air, I really have been thinking about the difference in your play. And, as the years gone along, we got better and better on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive line. But this is the first time you guys, we're talking about now that you guys are not – freshmen anymore. You're redshirt freshmen or sophomores or juniors. And really, unless you know the game of football like you do, the offensive line is the most important area where you have to play together. You want to talk about your teammates there on the offensive line and how they're improving?
Yes, definitely. As a unit, we came together. Our chemistry is a lot better because we all have more experience now, especially like the left side. We've been playing a little bit together. The right side of the line has come along. They've got experience themselves, and they're just falling in place, understanding the roles that they play as a unit, as we play, seeing the left side, how we formulate, how we come together, how we do things, and it's just all transitioning out as one. Our experience, like you said, is coming along greatly now. We can definitely see it in our play. As in past years, we were younger, so I didn't have a little bit as much experience. Sure. So now that we have that experience underneath our belt, there's no more excuses. We know our chemistry. We know what we're going to do. We know where we need to be, what we need to do, and we just need to execute. That's what we've been doing.
You know, one thing I like about you a little bit, I was a defensive coordinator most of my career, so I like those guys to get a little angry and nasty. But you've got a little angry and nasty spot in you. I've seen you a couple times get after it a little bit, and you got to control that a little bit more on the offensive line, and you really do. And but I still like that guy that's got a little bit of that in him. Do you feel you're that way?
Yeah, I feel like definitely on the offensive line, I'm the guy with a little bit of temper, a little bit of edge, the one that has a little bit of control issues sometimes, but I feel like we need some person to step up, some person to be that nasty guy that we can always go to. That's always going to have someone's back. And if I need to play that role as I have in the past, I will and I do. So that's how I feel.
Well, you got to feel good too, though. I think this is the first time since you've been here too that you do have skilled kids behind you that can take it to the house. I mean, you've got some good receivers. Of course, Thomas is a good back, but you've got several good backs. And really, Nick West has done a good job the last couple games at quarterback. How you feel about those guys?
Feeling really confident in them. I feel like they can do the job very well. Thomas Cook, as you said, great running back. Our fullback / all-purpose guy.
He's a bad dude.
Glenn Whitney, yes.
He's a bad dude.
That's a man out there amongst boys. I like the way he plays. He plays the game hard. Nick West is definitely coming along with his first couple starts. He's understanding the game, taking what's given to him, and just executing out there. Our wide receivers, Nate and Ant, making big plays for us.
I love the nickname Ant. That's sweet. I like that. But he really makes a difference. He also makes a big difference in return game. And then Garway's an animal.
Definitely.
He's like you playing left tackle. Only he's a receiver like you.
Exactly.
He's got that little angry in him. Okay, you guys are 3-0. And I really have ever since the win against Truman State. Matter of fact, I have another show I had today. I've had 4 people today alone say, hey, I saw where you beat Truman State and you're 3-0 in the conference. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited.
You bet.
It's good to have be able to control our destiny in this conference, being 3-0, being tied for first. All the rest are conference games, so hopefully we can win out and bring conference championship back to Jewel.
Yeah, I've been looking at it quite a bit through the year, probably more than you because you're getting ready for every game like I told Austin, and you guys really do have a shot. You continue to improve like you have every ball game. And, I use Truman State, and I mean this as a compliment from the first half. I always talk about you have to go get it. You're the type of guy that understands what I'm saying. You got to go get it. If you want to change things around here, you got to go get that. And you did that. You guys did that in that second half. As good as since I've done games here, so congratulations to you. Pass that word to the offensive line, okay?
I will. Thank you.
All right, well, we'll see you again Saturday down at S&T. We should have put funny bumps on them before, and we haven't. Let's do it.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right, sounds good. Well, that ends this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. Well, Coach, this is the last segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook, and I would be foul not to bring up we're 3-0 in the conference. We're just like Royal fans, Cardinal fans, we're learning how to win, and that's a great feeling. But we're going down to S&T, and since you've been a head football coach, both of us have felt a couple times that we've had on the ropes but couldn't finish them off. Smart kids, strong, physical group usually. Why don't we talk a little bit about S&T? By the way, that game will be at 1 o'clock down at S&T, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But what are you looking at with a team like S&T?
Yeah, they're all the things you talked about. I think 3 years ago is maybe the game you're talking about the most, where we go for 2 at the end and don't get it and didn't finish after we kind of stormed back from being down 3 touchdowns and so we've been in good ball games with them in the past, and I feel like we've got a team this year that maybe can go out and compete with them again, and they're well coached just like everybody is every week, but. They've got some guys on defense. If you look at their 2 deep right now on defense, you watch them play. I think they start 9 seniors, I think, on defense. And anytime you play with that kind of group that's been in the trenches and in the fire together for that long, not only do they play well and sound and aggressive, they play with an extreme amount of passion, and they play well together. They feed off each other, and that group definitely does that. They're leading the conference in sacks by a ton right now. I think we may be second, but they're way up there. And so the rush and the pass are well, defending a lot of things well right now. And then, offensively, they've got some guys, on the offensive line, their left tackle is a heck of a player. Big
good
kid
player.
that he's great feet, 6'7", 6'8", 310, 315, athletic. And they've got a couple guys at receiver that can really do some things down the field. And I think one of their receivers is, I believe, second in the conference right now in yardage and receptions. And they've got a couple other guys that line up in the backfield that can make it tough on you. So, again, where we're at as a program, and is continuing to, it's a building process for where we came from to where we're going, not being a senior-heavy team like maybe they are. We don't have a lot of margin for error. We gotta continue to be diligent every single rep in every single phase of the game to be successful.
Well, again, Cardinal fans, hopefully you'll be down there Saturday. We haven't been 3-0 in a long time in the conference and really are in the thick of the race. We'll be playing down at S&T. It's always a beautiful drive. Hopefully all this rain will get out of the way at the beginning of the week. Because in the fall, it's a great drive down there. Right. So it'll be great for Cardinal fans and not that bad a trip at all. So Cardinal fans, we'll see you at 1 o'clock at S&T, big conference game. That'll do it for this week Inside the Cardinal Playbook.